Number 9, we learned some properties yesterday about expanding logarithms. This is log base 5 of 13 times a all divided by 2. So when I write that in expanded form, how many times am I going to need to write out log base 5? 3. Once for the 13, another time for the a, and a third time for the 2. So, no. Because remember the properties we learned yesterday say that if they're being multiplied, you add them when you expand them. So you have to write them separately. Okay, so log base 5 of 13. And then you're going to have log base 5 of a and log base 5 of 2. Now you just have to decide what signs go between them. Whenever it was multiplication in condensed form, in expanded form it's addition. If it was division in condensed form, in expanded form it's subtraction, and then you're done. That's the answer. Okay, so if you were out yesterday, it would benefit you greatly to watch yesterday's video because we learned all the properties yesterday. Okay? Alright, now for number 10, how many times am I going to write the word log base 2? Twice. Once for that a and another time for the b. So log base 2 of a, log base 2 of b. Since it's division between those two terms, what sign goes over here? Subtraction. But what have we not dealt with? The power of 5. Is the a raised to the 5th power, the b, or both? Both. Those parentheses say that both are raised to the 5th power, and the power property of logarithm says that the 5 comes down in front of the word log, and that is now expanded form. Okay, number 11. Log base 5 of the square root of x to the 5th times y. They give you a hint over to the right that says rewrite the root as an exponent. So instead of leaving it up under the square root, how can we write the square root as an exponent? Let's see. If I take the square root of 4, is that the same thing as taking 4 and squaring it? No. We learned this at the beginning of this packet. How do you rewrite the square root as an exponent? What? Right, you raise it to the 1/2. If you take 4 and you raise it to the 1/2 power, you get 2, just like you did when you took the square root of 4. So when they say rewrite the root as an exponent, they're saying instead of writing the square root, raise it to the 1/2. Okay, but we haven't actually expanded it yet. We've just rewritten it so it'll be easier to expand. How many times am I going to need to write log base 5? Twice. Once for that x and another time for the y. So log base 5 of x, log base 5 of y. What sign should go in between them when it's expanded? Addition. Because it was multiplication when it was condensed. Now we need to worry about the exponents. What all is raised to the 1/2 power? Everything. Because weren't both of those terms up under the square root? So that means both of them are raised to the 1/2 power. So doesn't that mean a 1/2 will come down in front of both? However, what have we not dealt with? The x only is raised to the 5th power. So if I now bring that 5 to the front, won't this make it 5 over 2? Because 5 times 1/2 is 5/2. And that's the final answer. Okay, why don't you take a second and try number 12 by yourself. How many times do I need to write log base 5? 3 times. Once for the x, a second time for the y, and a third time for the z. Then, what sign over here will go between the x and y? Plus, because they were being multiplied. What sign will go between the y and the z? minus, because at that point you switch over to division when you divide by z. And then, what else raised to the 8th power? Everything. So everything has an 8 out front because all of them are raised to the 8th power. Okay, so that's what you should have got. Number 13. This one's a little tricky. You just have to, use that 1 minus x as just one term, basically. You have to think of it as one term. So we'll write log base 2 of 1 minus x, and we'll write log base 2 of y. What sign will go in between those? Minus, because isn't it divided by? So minus, and then what else raised to the 3rd power? Everything. So we put a 3 in front of both of them. Okay, turn to the next page. Number 14. They give you a hint right away to rewrite the root as an exponent. So instead of log base 3 of the 5th root of 9x cubed, how do you rewrite the 5th root as an exponent? If you rewrite the square root as raised to the 1/2, how do you think you're going to rewrite the 5th root? 1/5. Okay? So now we have log base 3 of 9, and we have log base 3 of x. Both the 9 and the x are raised to the 1/5 power because both of them were up under the 5th root. So 1/5 will come down in front of both. However, x is also raised to the 3rd power. So when that 3rd power comes down and joins it, what will this become? 3/5. And then what sign goes in between them? Plus, because right here they were being multiplied. So in expanded form, you add them. Go ahead and try 15 by yourself. This is what you should have got. Log base 3, but instead of the cube root, you should have written 2x to the 5th to the 1/3 power. So then when you're expanding it, it'll be log base 3 of 2 and log base 3 of x. Both of them get the 1/3, but then the x gets a 1/3 and a 5th power, which is 5/3. And then since 2 and x are being multiplied, you add them when you're expanding. Okay, number 16. How many times do you think I need to write log base 2? 3. Log base 2 of 9. Log base 2 of x. And log base 2 of y. Does 9, is it raised to a power? No, so you're done with it. What about x? It's to the 10th power, so the 10 comes down front. And then y is squared, so the 2 comes down front. What sign goes in between 9 and x? And what sign goes in between x and y? Minus. Okay, go ahead and quickly try 17 and 18. Quickly try 17 and 18. Okay, you're going to write log base 2 3 times. For the 4, the 8, and the 5. None of them are raised to a power, so we don't have to worry about that property. 4 is being multiplied by 8. So over here, you put a plus between them. Then over that, it switches over to division, so you put a minus. And then you're done. Yep. Number 18. The first thing you have to do anytime you have a root as part of your single logarithm is rewrite it as an exponent. How do you rewrite a cube root as an exponent? Raised to the 1/3. So now, how many times do I write log base 2? Twice. Once for the x and another time for the a. What all is being raised to the 1/3? Both, because both were up under the cube root. So 1/3 comes in front of both. However, x is also squared. So when that 2 also jumps to the front, won't that make that a 2/3? Because 2 times 1/3 is 2/3. No, I guess not, because you're just adding them, and addition is commutative. You can add in any order and get the same answer. But on a test, you're probably going to see it in that order, like the choice. Okay, now we're going to do the other way around. They've given us the answer in expanded form. We are going to write it as a single logarithm, which means condense it. This is the last thing we're learning before Friday's test. Okay, this is the last question on Friday's portion of the test. Okay, when you're asked to write it as a single logarithm, you obviously write log one time. Single logarithm. So you write the word log one time. The base is 3. There's subtraction. So over here in condensed form it would be division and 10 over 4. But what else have we not dealt with? The 10 is squared. So technically that's the right answer. However, since everything up there is a number, they might simplify it. What is 10 squared? And what's 100 divided by 4? So they might go ahead and simplify it to that. It just, in parentheses. On the test, they do put this number in parentheses every time. It's not like you have to, but I did notice on this test, there's always parentheses around that. Okay, we're going to skip 20 and 21 for a second. We'll come back to those. Why don't you take a second and try 22. Number 22. Log base 3. Log base 3 of, can I teach Orlando? Log base 3 of x times y, because plus in expanded form means multiplication and condensed. X has a 3 out front, so it was cubed. Y has a 4 in the front, so it was to the 4th. Did y'all get that? Okay, let's try number 23. Log base 3. And then it's addition, which means over here it's multiplication. So x times 11. But the x is raised to the 6th power, and the 11 is raised to the 2nd power. So technically that is the correct answer, but you're probably going to see it simplified a little further to something like this. Log base 3. What is 11 squared? 121. And do you ever see somebody write x to the 6th, then 121? They always put the number in front, right? So you probably see it written like that. Okay, number 24. Log base 5. There's division, or there's subtraction right here, so over here it would be division between the x and the y. But then all of a sudden after the y it turns into addition, so that means they're going to multiply the y by the z. X is raised to the 4th power, and then nothing else is raised to anything, so you're done. And then like I said on the test, they normally put that part in parentheses. Okay, number 25, let's skip it, we'll come back to it, let's try 26. Log base 5, or log base 3. A is added to B, so that means they're being multiplied, but then it changes over to subtraction, which means it changes over to division. C is squared, and then none of the others are raised to an exponent because there's nothing written out in front, so that's the answer. Okay? Alright, now let's look at number 25. Okay, so we have log base 3 when we write it as a single logarithm. It's subtraction, which means over here it's division, between 144 to the 1/2 power and 4. However, you're normally not going to see them write 144 to the 1/2 power. How else can we write that? The square root of 144 is the same thing as 144 to the 1/2 power. Then they may even go a step further and simplify that, because everything up there is numerical. What is the square root of 144? And what's 12 divided by 4? 30. So that would be the most simplified version of it. Okay, so I want you to take a second and try number 21 by yourself. Okay, try of log base 5 of x times y, but x should be raised to the 1/2. Instead of raising it to the 1/2, what else can you do? Square root it. Okay, so log base 5 of the square root of x times y. Okay, number 20. This is the most difficult one. Log base 2 of x times y, but x should be raised to the 2/3, correct? However, you may not see it written like that. Let's talk about how you may see it written. At the beginning of this packet, we learned how to rewrite rational exponents in radical form. Does anybody remember how you would rewrite x to the 2/3 as a radical? The cube root of x squared and then times y. So you may see it either way. It's just, instead of raising something to the 2/3, at the beginning of this unit, we learned that it can also be written the cube root of 2.